Now, okay, let's start. Welcome everyone, and I would like to congratulate all the candidates who are in the webinar. Why I'm congratulating and welcoming because I would say you are ahead in the race. At least you have take the time in the Sunday and you feel that okay, you should spend 1 hour learning about career counseling and learning about something about the career. So I believe you are ahead in the race. You are little serious or you are something expecting from the life. So really appreciate that. So let's start with the outline. I will start with my basic introductions that who am I, then some success stories, then I will focus on the resume, my favorite one, which is the portfolio, then LinkedIn optimizations, how to do the networking and develop the reference, about the interview preparations, and at the end, more about the consistency and time management, something about the market research, that what are the industry, what is the scope, how much you will be paid if you get a job in this particular industry, in this particular position. So more like that. And at the end, question answer sessions. Okay. So before I start about my basic background, I am a college instructor at Canadore College and CDI College. So CDI has a tie-up with Algonquin, and I believe maybe from this audience, so many are from Canadore, and probably you will see the some success stories from the Canadore students as well. So that would be something motivating for you. And probably in Canada, I'm teaching since 2 years, more than 500 students in totality. I would say more than 15 batches in 6 or 7 semester. And other than that, I am professional coach for career guidance. So especially I help immigrants like you, like me, recent graduates who just graduated from college and looking for job in the field, either it is the current study or the back home study or related to the back home experience. That's something I'm helping them to land a job so it can help them to achieve their personal career goal or professional goals and even to get permanent residency in Canada. Moving forward, so basically I'm an engineer. Then I did masters in project management. I have around 6 years of experience back home with one of the largest GC in India. And then I moved here in Canada in 2021. I did business analytics from Seneca College. And I would say I was lucky enough and I did enough efforts to land a job before graduation. So I started with Hanscom Limited as a cost planner. And after that, currently I'm working as a project controller. So my current project value is around 800 million. And fortunately, I had worked on multiple $1 billion projects as well. The highest one was 4 billion. So that's something about me. Even if you still have any questions, you can drop into the chat box. I will try to answer at the end. Okay. So very interesting. I asked this question at the time of registrations that do you know what exactly you want to be? Or do you have any specific, I would say, profile in your mind, or you have decided something? Fortunately, 50% students or 50% candidates has an idea that what they want to be. But another 34% students were confused. So probably they have multiple profiles in mind. Probably they don't have clear idea what exactly they are deciding or that what exactly they want to be. Or maybe they have made a mistake of choosing course, or maybe they don't have clear idea, or they don't know someone in the market with a similar profile like them. So that's something is missing. So that's why they are confused, I believe. So I will try to guide those people who are confused. So how to decide your career or how to decide your next plan or next goal. And even there are another 15% students who doesn't know anything. So even I will try to address them and those who have clear idea. So for them, regarding LinkedIn, regarding resume, so how to develop and all these things. So probably those 15% students who have decided, maybe you have crossed the 50% of the battle. So you have almost crossed the 50%. Now you just need to get first offer in your Canada, in your journey of the career. Okay, so the most important thing, so everyone has this myth, I would say, everyone has this belief. Probably you have the surrounding in front of you, or you have the, you know, people around you are talking about these things like it's not possible to get job in Canada without reference. So that's very big myth or very big issues I have faced among my all clients, all my students, and everywhere in the market. There is one more myth, I would say. People believe that they don't accept the international experience. So I would try to resolve that doubt as well, that okay, international experience is being recognized or not. And there are students, or there are candidates who doesn't have any experience back home. Probably they landed after 12, or they landed immediately after the graduation. So once you have graduate, you probably preparing for the IELTS or something, and then you move here. So you don't have any back home experience. So in that case, you feel that how to get a job, a field job, probably I need to face something about the survival job till I get PR and all these things. So this is all myths in my perception. And I have many success stories. I will share few with you today who have who has gone beyond this myth, who has done really good efforts, and who has achieved something in the Canadian market, even in this current market where people are talking about recession, people are talking about slowdown and all these things. They have got the job. So let's start with the first success stories, which will be motivating. I'm starting from the success stories because you can relate yourself. Oh, I am an engineer, I did supply planning, or I am a mechanical engineer, and even I work with automotive. So I think if this guy can get a job, definitely I can get a job. So something which is, I would like to talk about Fanindra, who registered with me after his graduation. So he was my student as well. He registered with me in the August, mid-August around, and he got in a job on the 26th February, which is probably 2 3 weeks before. So probably he did efforts for 4 and 5 months, and he got an offer 125% higher than the current base pay. So then the survival job. So you can imagine that, okay, if you get an offer of, let's say, 60K, 70K, that's really wow, right? Because uh, probably you are working at $15, or maybe you are working at $18 or maximum $20 in different survival jobs. So if you get something beyond 50, definitely good. And if you get something beyond 70, then it's really good. So that's a one case. And basically he was mechanical engineer with overall 3 years of experience and 1 year with Kia Motors. And then he moved here. He did 2 course, project management and supply chain management. And after the graduation, he got a job as a maintenance planner with Inoc Exteriors. So if you feel it is related profile, I would say connect with him on the LinkedIn. Try to get his insight about the industry. Try to get some experience, how he faced, what type of work he did, and everything. Moving forward, another candidate from Canada, Vikas Malik. He was basically civil engineer. He got in a job, 2 jobs from multiple companies. Currently, he's working as an estimator in Halifax, Nova Scotia. So he had another offer from GTA as well, but he had a personal choice to move out of Ontario to get permanent residency earlier. So that's something he chose. He got 75% hike than his current survival job. So, and again, Canada student, same stories like all other immigrants who landed here, same struggle, but he got in a job. And again, he graduated in September 2023. He had first offer in probably mid-October, and he joined Halifax office in on 20th November. So you can imagine within 60 to 70 days, he had an offer. Moving forward, Jigar Shah. So I would say he was most optimum guy that he landed in December 2021. He graduated 1 year course, which is around 8 months. And even before graduation, he had an offer on hand. So he signed up with me in mid-June or beginning of the July, and he had an offer in the end of the August or maybe in the beginning of the September. So when the semester end, usually end of the August or usually the 15th September, and he started working with the day force as a marketing campaign specialist, and you can imagine that he is permanent residence today. So that's something he did very optimistically. Everything achieved on time. I would say before time. So moving forward, Monish, again the Canada student, he got in a job as an estimator. He is in Mississauga as of now. He got 50% hike than his survival job. And he again same thing graduated from Canada and he got an offer in month of December. So he started working in January 2024. This is very special case. Someone from finance or someone from commerce background. She was CA. She got permanent residency back home directly. So before landing a job, she took my guidance and she got an offer before landing in Canada. So that was something really interesting. You should feel that people who are here having many myths that oh we cannot get a job without Canadian experience or without Canadian degree and all these things. She had an offer before landing here. She chose to go Manitoba because they were paying higher than any GTA company. She had an two offer. Again, she was really brilliant and she is brilliant with chartered accountant back home and worked with Big Fours and currently working as the same companies like Big Fours. So that's a motivating stories for the students who are on the work permit, have everything on hand and someone who can get a job being from India directly. Regarding Kaushal, we will go in detail because I'm going to share his portfolio, share his LinkedIn and everything. It's kind of a, I'm not saying a benchmark case, but I'm trying to share one example. So he was mechanical engineer. He's a mechanical engineer with around 5 years of experience back home. He had masters back home. He did project management from Loyalist and he did business analytics from Mohawk College. So you can relate that someone did project management or someone who is graduating from the loyalist can be the relative person profile. You can connect with him. He got 133% hike, got exact job what he was doing back home as a mechanical designer. And again, in mechanical, you get paid overtime. So let's say if your payment is around $35-40 per hour, and if you're working more than 40 hours, your payment is 1.5 times than your base rate. So that's something really, interesting. Now, moving forward, I will not discuss much. We have many success stories. I would just emphasize on Deep Patel. He is just 12th grade graduated, came here, did course from Georgian College, currently working with Life Labs. So you can imagine no experience, but he had a job in Life Labs, and that's something is again eligible for permanent residency in health sector and FSD and all these things, and he will get PR soon. So that's something is motivating for those who doesn't have any experience. These are some clients where candidates from Canada or other clients got a job. I would skip this. Now let's jump to the resume. Probably for this you guys are waiting, or probably for this you guys are here. So before I start, I'm sure that you must have so many YouTube videos, so many reels talking about ATS, talking about how to prepare resume, talking about templates, talking about Canadian format or Canadian standards of resume. You might have done so many things. So probably today I would give some idea that is something you are not doing, or probably it will be emphasize your knowledge that, okay, you are doing something already, then you should keep doing that. So that will clear your doubts or that will add on or give the confidence that, okay, you are on the right track. So regarding resume, the most important is ATS because when you don't have really significant experience, And when you don't have international experience, let's say someone already working with Capgemini or someone already working with US based company back home, or someone had worked with the clients, let's say Big Fours, E&Y and Deloitte and KPMG. For those people, yeah, it's easier that you will get recognized. You will easily get recognized and you will easily get selected by the employers because you know what is happening into the market, what is happening in the North America. But for those people who is having 2 3 years of experience or no experience, and you are trying to enter into the industry and probably at the same position, entry level positions, there are so many applicants, let's say 50 or 100 applicants in the same race in the competition. So at the same time, your resume development makes more importance. Like you need to be very specific and you need to match the ATS. Now, what is ATS? Is applicant tracking system where all the recruiters, HR and employer get so many applicants, let's say 100 applicants for one job. Do you think they're going to read in each and every resume? Definitely not. So what they will be doing, they have their job description on their hand on one side, and they have your resume on the another side, and they will try to match, and they will see that what percentage your resume is matching. If it is 75%, then probably they would call you. But again, this number is not very specific. There might be the case that probably they will choose top five. So sometimes even if it is 60%, they will call you because you are in the top five of the candidates who is having the enough qualifications. Sometimes even if you match 80-90% of ATS, but let's say in the job descriptions, if they have very specific requirements and you are not matching them, then probably they will not call you. For example, when applying, they ask for, do you need sponsorships? If you say yes, and if they don't want to give any kind of sponsorships, then probably they will not call you, irrespective of your ATS is 100%, irrespective of your resume is matching and your qualifications are matching. One more example I would like to give. If in the job description they have said we need minimum of 5 years of experience and you have three, probably they will not call you because they said minimum. But sometimes they mention the range. In that case, they are flexible. That is okay. In that case, you can apply and you can get the call. If they have mentioned very specific certificate, so some industries like finance, you need to have CSC on hand, CFA on hand, depending on the profile you are targeting. So if they need specific certificate or license, let's say if you are applying for insurance advisor, then you need LLQP or then you need OTL. In that case, even if you do everything in resume, you will not get call. So which is called about eligibility requirements. It can be experience, it can be certificate, it can be license, it can be any tool they are expecting, SAP or EcoSys or iShift or Sign or Primera P6 or Tableau or Power BI. It can be any certificate for the IT people, any language certificate. It can be the experience requirement, it can be the master's level requirement, all these things. So you need to be very clear about which position you are targeting. If those positions expect specific license and if you are not carrying, either you need to get that license or you need to change the target positions. So I have met many clients or many candidates saying that, hey, I'm trying since 4 months. I did ATS and blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm trying since years. I did all these things, but I'm not getting calls. Probably you are applying very high qualified jobs, or probably you are overqualified for the positions you are applying. So in both case, you will not get any call. So yes, you will listen so many things in the social media that ATS is important, but at the same time, you need to check about other things. I would go forward like you need to tailor your resume, you need to prepare your professional summary, you need to quantify the achievements, the most ignored part, I would say, which is the quantification of the achievement. That can be what sales you made in terms of numbers, in terms of value, what was revenue per month, revenue per year, how much money you saved in terms of percentage, how many people you mentored, how many customers you dealt with, how many calls you attended. So either it can be number, either it can be value or amount, or it can be the percentage in any way. So in all whole resume, you need to add your achievement in terms of quantifiable, not just I did so many growth or I did achieve target of sales. No, what target was that and how much you achieved? What was your accuracy level? So all these things, which is most ignored part. So because it requires time, it requires efforts because you need to do analysis on yourself that what exactly you were missing in what exactly you did in terms of quantifications. Moving forward, okay. Moving forward, I would go for 1 or 2 pages. So that's something is really important. So when I get resume for review, it's sometimes 1.5 page. It's sometimes 2.5 page. It looks like not completed. It's looked like not weighted or not reviewed. So very standard, which is again my personal opinion. Probably you will get another feedback from another career coach or another uh, YouTubers. So if you have 2 3 years of experience or 0 years of experience, your resume should be 1 page only, not more than that. And if you have more than 5 years of experience, then 2 pages are fine because you worked with multiple companies and that's why you need to make 2 pages resume. More than 2 pages, not required at all, not required. So, and 1.5 pages doesn't look good. So either concise within 2 pages or make it either concise within 1 page or make it 2 pages. There are something you need to mention about your driving license. If you are having G or G2, whatever it is, you need to mention willing to relocate because you cannot confine yourself just applying in GTA or Mississauga or Toronto area. You need to open everywhere. So don't say or don't lie that by changing the locations that okay, now I change the Halifax, now I change the Hamilton, now I change the Alberta. No, not like that. You need to say very truth that okay, currently I am based at GTA or I am based at Vancouver, but I'm willing to relocate in any province in Canada. So that will clear to the applicants, that will clear to the employers that okay, this guy is flexible, who is ready to relocate, so that they will consider your profile. And one more thing which is again ignored, the soft skill. Usually we match the keywords about the hard skills, which is technical skills. We don't consider more about the soft skill. So you need to add that in your resume, either in the skill sections or into somewhere in your resume blended with your keywords or blended with your job descriptions. What you should not be doing. Don't use any generic template available on many blogs, many portals. Don't use that. The best template is Office 365. So when you turn on your Word, go to new, go to template and search for resume. You will get hundreds. Choose something which is very decent one or two color maximum. Using a GPT, this GPT has made life very easy. If you give just job description, probably GPT will give you 100 questions, 100 lines of resume, and you can copy paste and you can mention. Even if you give the keywords, GPT will reframe your current resume and will give you the resume which is matching 80%. But this is not going to get a job or this is not going to get a call because your descriptions, because when you got filtered out by ATS, HR will review it, HR will read it. And then if they feel that it is automated or it is AI generated, because it's easier to identify by anyone, then probably they will not call you because you even don't know what is mentioned in your resume. Because if you rely 100% on GPT, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you can take help, then you can blend those things in your resume and you can make it realistic in your original language. That is something you need to do during the ATS. So till time, if you are doing through GPT, I would say you need to rethink on this. Submit without proofreading. So that something comes up when you use AI or when you use any kind of paid software in market, which is specifically for resume. You need to think about words. You need to think about the specific language they are using, which should be acceptable by the employer, acceptable by the industry, because this AI or paraphraser doesn't have the I would say, intellectual mindset, or doesn't have the human cross-checking way that this is not related to this field. Okay. One more thing, using the white fonts. I've seen so many people doing this, that copy the job descriptions and putting into the footer or header, or putting into the white font into the backside, and changing the layer, and then they try to manipulate this ATS. It doesn't work. Why? Yeah, so many people tell that in the social media, but it doesn't work because those AI ATS trackers are smart enough to identify the white fonts. And if it is a white, they will not recognize it. And maybe they will flag it and they will kick you out of the overall list. So that's very important. Exaggerating of the qualifications. I've seen so many students or so many candidates lying in terms of experience, or falsifying the, you know, lying in the experience or falsifying the qualifications. And if you are doing that, especially in the Canadian experience, I'm pretty sure that they will identify by anyway. And let me give you one more example here. I've seen cases, they got a job using this kind of, okay, I will come to the white fonts, guys. I've seen cases about this falsifying or fabricating the resume. They got a job, they are working since 3 years. Suddenly they got fired. You know why? Because sometimes the companies are working on the government projects, and when they work on the government projects, government asks for the resume of your employee who is going to work on that particular project. If they submit your resume, which is already submitted long back in their system, they will use the same resume, right? They will forward it. Government will do the background check, and in government background check, they are linked with IRCC. Sometimes even they call companies and they verified that, was there a guy with this name in your company? And if that is the case, I'm pretty sure that you will get fired. There was a case, fortunately they didn't fire him with any reasons. They said you resign, else they will sue him. And he had no option, so he resigned it. So don't do this of any falsifying. Now regarding white points, to match the ATS, what people do, just copying the resume or copying the job description, pasting into the resume, changing the layer and sending it to back, and converting into the white fonts. So if all other things are black, that is white, that keywords are matched. So if the ATS is not smart enough, what they will feel, okay, this resume is matching 100% or 90%. So let's call this guy. But ATS is smart enough to identify that white font. So if you are doing this in terms of ATS, then that's something wrong you are doing. Don't do this. White fonts are easily identifiable by ATS, and they will flag your resume and they can ban you. Okay. Moving forward, inconsistency. So we know that people change the resume, people change the job descriptions and tailor it, but don't modify in such a way that you even forget that, okay, for which company you have submitted which resume, and that will something will flag to the employer that you are submitting 3 different resume for the same employer. That's something you should not be doing. I will be quick regarding ATS. I have covered so many things. So regarding those, maybe anyhow, I'm going to share this YouTube video. So you will get this in future. So don't worry about that. Regarding don'ts, don't use any fancy templates. Don't use any tables in the resume. I have seen so many people mentioning about their qualifications in tables. Don't do that. People are doing in table and hiding it. Again, that's not advisable. So those fancy templates available in the markets having tables. So that is not something is good for ATS. So don't do that. Don't put anything in header and footer. Don't put anything in the white fonts. Don't rely solely on the keywords. So that's something I say, don't rely on GPT or just keywords. And most an important thing is you don't review it. So that should be doing. You should start doing. Famous ATS tools in the market, JobScan, RaseScore, skill syncer and resume worded. This is something you should use. If you feel if it is really good, you can take premium. They're not expensive, maybe $100 or $200 per year. And if you are looking for 3-4 months, probably you will spend less than $50-$60. So it's a worth investment doing that about ATS. Regarding LinkedIn optimizations, uh, I would directly jump to the one profile which I want to share. Just allow me to share the profile and we'll get back. I think it should be visible to you guys. Profile of Kaushal Patel. So I'm jumping to the profile directly. What is important in the your overall LinkedIn? So the most important thing is skills. So you need to add skills here, like here. Every section has option to add skills. It can be your job description, it can be your about us section, it can be your just skill section, it can be your college level details as well. Every section has a skill option. You need to add skills which is relevant to your target profile, which is exactly your skills you are carrying. And again, adding skills doesn't work only. You need to ask your friends, your batchmates, your colleagues, or your ex-colleagues to add that skills, to endorse those skills, because they will endorse. When they will endorse, this employer or these recruiters, when they are doing the web crawling, you will be identified first. That something is important. Now, when you mention about this about section, which is most important, your title, you need to mention the designation which you are targeting. You can mention the highest level of the qualifications and any skills or any certifications you are carrying that you should mention. So you can see here. Then there is featured section, which usually people doesn't develop. So you need to develop this featured section. You can add your resume here. You can add your portfolio. You can add some honors degree if you are having, or any kind of recognition certificate, any special certificate, or any school skills or tool certificate if you are having, you can use this. Moving forward to about section, this is really important, which you need to cover each and everything as a cover letter. So that's a cover letter, then certificate, then the key achievements. This key achievement you need to put into percentage or quantifiable ways, then the skills and ability, and any specific projects you want to talk about or any experience you want to share. That is something which is very important, because this about section will be crawled by the recruiters, and then the keywords are matching, they will directly invite you for their particular openings. Then each and every job description should be mentioned, and I don't need to tell you that it should be at least 4 to 5 heads, and you need to mention the job descriptions about, even if you are promoted, you need to update that within the system. What I don't recommend in your resume or your LinkedIn about your survival job, it's not a good idea. If it is really related to that field, if you have done any co-op or any training or internship, that's fine. But if you are mentioning anything about Walmart or gas stations or any warehouse experience, and you are trying for something engineering or finance industry, that's not gonna relate. So that doesn't make sense to reflect there. It was just a survival job, keep it for the survival only. So, and for LinkedIn, I would tell you one more thing, which I need to open my own resume, which would be new, I believe. So regarding skills. So when you go to your profile, you go to the build resume. So you click on the more, you go to the build resume, you can add create a profile. And when you say, let's say I want to be a financial analyst, okay, click apply. You will get here the analysis by resume, by LinkedIn. I think this is a premium feature, so you need to have premium to try this. They will give you the feedback. Okay, these skills are already there, which is required in the financial analyst positions. This is the suggested keywords which you are missing. So you need to add somewhere in the skills, you need to add somewhere in your resume, directly, indirectly. If you click on show more button, you will get more skills as well. So this is really important for which positions you are targeting. It should be 100% achieved by trying the multiple profiles you are trying. Let's say financial analyst, data analyst, or financial analysis, whatever keywords, different keywords or positions you are targeting, you need to try whatever keywords you are getting. It should be there in your resume as well, and it should be there in the LinkedIn as well. That something is most important. Now moving back to the presentation now, portfolio, which is the key, I would say USP, unique selling point when you don't have good experience, when you don't have good resume or good companies in your portfolio. This is the really key to get success. Make the portfolio so attractive, so detailed, mentioning, demonstrating about your skills, about your career journey, about your experience. You can use it at the time of application as well. You can use it during the introduction of the yourself. When recruiters say introduce yourself, you can use it. So that's the most important thing. I would move to the portfolio examples directly. So let me bring that. It should be visible. Again, I'm sharing Kaushal Patel's portfolio only because it was very well prepared, very well documented in the formal way. So you can see he mentioned his timeline about the overall his qualifications. Then he mentioned the timeline about the experience. Then what are the achievements, any certifications, any skills, anything which he got. Then what are the tools he has an exposure of he worked on. So that's something you can cover in your way, because in job description you will find hundreds of tools they are asking. Those tools should be there in your portfolio, should be there in your resume. Moving forward, this is the technical ability or the skills, key competencies. He had worked on some research projects, some another system. So this is your the technical portfolio you are presenting. Either you can talk about your projects, talk about your experience, your analysis, your dashboard. That's what something you can do. So this is, I would share another one for Fanindra. Same thing, education's journey, professional achievement, your skills, soft skills, software skills, and then the projects he's explaining. Moving forward, the Krishna one, she's an architect and she's trying to get a job in architect. So she prepared very well resume, very well portfolio, demonstrating all the projects. So you can see all the tools she knows, all the projects he worked on. And one more for someone who is civil engineer, you can see the timeline. It should be catchy, attractive. People should feel that, okay, why it should be catchy? Because they feel that, okay, you have really good demonstration or presentation skills. That is really important, because if you have not enough good technical skills, but if you are good with communications, they will hire you because you have good communications and presentation skills. Now moving forward, I already covered what should be the components by sharing those examples. Now coming to the interview preparation. So for an interview, there are two parts. I would say three parts. First thing, tell me about yourself. Second, technical questions. And third, the behavioral questions, which will be always there. And usually we don't prepare the behavioral questions. And at that time, probably you will tell something which you comes up in your mind. Sometimes they ask you the questions in the behavioral that tell me about the situation you had in a conflict with your colleague. And you would say, I cannot recall that. That's not the answer, because it's always there. You need to share the conflict and you need to tell how you resolve. So you need to prepare for that. Now coming to the introduction part. Introduction should be very crisp. You need to prepare in two formats, 90 seconds for your screening call and 2 to 3 minutes for your Zoom meeting or into in-person interview. What should be there? Very related things only. Related experience, related qualifications, related softwares, and related certifications. So to prepare the introduction, you need to refer the job descriptions. So job description in whole webinar, I would say, is a key. You need to read 3 times, 4 times what exactly they need. You need to read between the lines, and you need to demonstrate yourself and deliver that what exactly they want. So let's say, for example, you are trying for financial analyst and you did back home BCom and then you did some accounting job. You don't need to mention that because that was not financial analysis positions. So you mention what exactly you are having. So keep it concise. And the most important thing is practice. Practice in front of mirror, practice doing the live camera in the laptop, practice arranging the self Zoom meeting and presenting your portfolio. You can do this kind of practice. I'm sure it will boost up your confidence. Now for interview, the STAR method. You will get so many things in YouTube about STAR. I don't want to explain the theory. What is situation, task, action, and result? It's always there. You will get so much content. I will give what is important to cover the STAR method, which is this slide, which is the elements of the STAR method, specifically prepared by myself, what exactly should be there in your answers. This should be there in your answers. So let's say if you Google, I want to get a job for, or if you ask ChatGPT, financial advisor, or let's say technical sales representative, or let's say estimator, or let's say production planner, you will get hundreds of questions. If you ask GPT, out of 100 of questions, that GPT will convert the most common questions as well. So you got most common questions. I'm pretty sure that out of those 10, 15 most common questions, you will be asked the 5 questions in the interview. So you need to prepare those 10 questions very well with these details. With these details means you need to have, in example, you need to have location, you need to have date and time, you need to have the company name, person, quantifiable metrics, which is probably the time, number, quantity, sales, revenue. You need to have discuss about the project. You need to discuss about the tools. So let me give you a very simple example. Let's say if you are trying for some customer sales or financial sales representative or any positions, and when you got an interview questions that tell me about the situation that the customer was very angry and then how you manage that situation. Usually if you ask this Google will say that I listened her very carefully and then I resolved her problem and then she was very happy and gone. So that's something the answer is. Okay, the answer is right. How to make it more interesting and realistic? Add these elements. So tell in a story such a way that it was a time of situation when banks had very limited staff and when at the time of COVID, very few people were allowed. So there was a lady who waited for 2 hours in the queue, and then she was very angry, having some struggle in the applications. So you can explain about lady, how old she was and why she was angry, because she was maybe the old school lady who doesn't know much about the technology and she was struggling of doing some transactions. She couldn't do that. Then I gave her a water. I listened her carefully and then I restart the or reset the password and update the applications. And the application name was this. And then I show her a balance that everything is there in the balance, and I help her to do the transactions as well. She could able to do everything, and then she gone happy. So that's something you told the whole story. Now what was the elements covered? Time was covered, location was covered, that you were as a bank, you worked as a bank. So that's something you already told in this. Then you can mention the company name, which bank you were working. Then you can mention about the person, probably the manager designation, the personality. Quantifiable metrics, which I missed. So probably you can say that there were 3 updates there. She didn't do that, and that's why she couldn't do the transaction. So I updated that app. Then the tools. So you can talk about your app name, or you can talk about that was a in-house developed by our bank, which was the CRM app. So all these things you need to cover into the answers. So I got a feedback in the form that someone told me that, hey, I I am getting calls, but I'm not getting selected. So probably you face maybe 3, 4 interviews, I believe. Have you answered with this strategy? If no, then probably you need to develop your answers like this. Develop 10 answers, because sometimes it happens that the most common questions are there. You answered very well. Probably it clears so many doubts of your interviewer that, okay, you know this many things. You are very specific about your job. You are very specific about your experience. Then you got selected, because something is missing is fine. The behavioral questions. If you Google, you will get the same questions about the behavioral things. Even ask ChatGPT, you will get hundreds of answers. Even in Google, you will get hundreds of answers. No, your answers should contain these elements. So even if you prepare answers, even if you fabricate story, even if there is original story, even if it is very interesting, cover these things. So if you have prepared your behavioral questions without this, I would say at this part, the most important thing to crack an interview, most important thing. Moving forward, the small talks. So usually the small talks is important. When you say hi, hello, don't consider as an interview. Oh, I need to prepare very well. I need to be serious. No, no, no. Make it a conversations. Hey, hi, how are you? How was the weekend? How was the weather going? Probably nowadays not sunny enough. And sometimes it's sunny in the weekdays and not sunny in the weekend. So that's something I feel bad about weekend. So all these things, small talks, make yourself comfortable, make interviewer comfortable, and that will be the good start to do. Very important thing. Now, networking. This is the key for those who are trying for reference. So I have seen so many cases, so many connections on my LinkedIn. They request me. Once I accept, immediately the message pop up and they say that, hey, I'm looking for a job in these positions. Please give me reference, or if there is opening in your company, please help me. Oh man, before 1 second, we were not even knowing each other. How can I give you reference? So that's not the way to develop the reference. To develop the reference, you need to do the networking like this. You connect. When you connect, add a short note that, okay, hey, I am this person, I'm looking for a job in this industry, and I found your profile very interesting and which is inspiring for me, or I found your profile, I found this designation important for me. It would be great if you can share your experience or journey. So that's why I want to connect. Short note, important. Once they accept, thank them and say that I want to discuss. If you have any chance, if you can give me number, or if we can meet in person, or the chat is fine. Give the option to them. Whatever they say, if they say I'm available on this time, this is my number. Make yourself you are available at the right time. You are not out of in the noisy area. You are available, listening in carefully, and then ask these questions. You need to ask these questions to get good connections. When you are asking this, two things are important. You are building a rapport with someone who is in the field. So in future, if something comes up, they will recall in their mind, okay, this guy approached me, probably he need a job. But subconsciously, when you are asking about the industry, they will you will get some data in your mind. Oh, this is really important. Oh, this is really something which I can talk into the interview. So that's something you will collect so many data, which will help to appear better in the interview. Okay, now we learned so many things, and anyhow, in this short webinar, I cannot cover everything, but I would say what's important. So you learned about LinkedIn, Indeed, all these things. What is the key to get success? So let's say probably you will feel that, oh, I know everything. I don't this webinar at all. I don't like this, all these things. Okay, are you doing this? If you know everything, you need to work in four fronts consistently for at least 90 to 120 days. And again, that start after your eligibility. If it required any certificate, any license, then that 90 days doesn't start. Once you have this, you need to start working in forefront. You need to improve your skills. Either it can be software, or either it can be LinkedIn learning courses about the industry. You need to do the networking every day, connect with 30, 40 people, talk with them, know about the industry. You need to apply job consistently. Even if you get interview call today, don't stop applying. Achieve your daily target. And you need to prepare the interview preparation, as I said, your questions, behavioral, technical, with the stories, with the example that you need to cover. If you are not doing this consistently for 120 days, and if you say that, oh, I am not getting job, I did everything, probably you are lying to yourself because you did not make enough efforts, my friend. Now, all these things, why you need this? This is something you should be knowing that in every industry, these are the top highly paid sectors or top highly paid pays, which is getting the average of around 130 to 150K if you get a field job. So maybe today you will start at 50, 60K, which is very equivalent to someone who is doing Uber or someone doing the 60 hours of the $20 of warehouse job or maybe base pay job. But you can jump here, you can get 100K, you can get 6-digit salary within second job, you can get 150K within 3 to 5 years of Canada, and you can reach till even 500K to $1 million if you become a CEO of any good company. So that's probably 15, 20 years in Canada. But if you grow, these are some highest paying jobs. If you ignore the initial medical field, these are the another positions which is there. In the engineering positions, if you start at 60, 45 to 60K, probably the next jump you will get around 90 to 100K. So for the engineering positions, your start would be low, but that's something you can achieve. Even I have seen people doing more than 100K in this engineering field. Managerial positions, about the plant manager or director, they are average at 150 to 200K usually. Sometimes they cross 300K, but it's a very rare, very niche market. Project management positions for coordinator, you will start at 47, 50K. Sometimes some companies would highly pay, maybe 65K. And project manager goes to 150 to 200 usually. Banking positions, if you are a tailor or financial sales, maybe you will start with something 40, 60K. And then you can move to the maybe a financial advisor or analyst or maybe a branch manager. So this would be the pay of around 100, 120K. At that time, you need to clear some certificates. Pharmaceuticals, I have seen so many people trying for pharma. So for pharma, again, you need to clear some certificates. If they really want those certificates. If you clear, if you try some regulatory affairs and all these positions, yeah, those certificates are easier than becoming a pharmacist. So you can take those certificates and you can achieve a job of 65 to 80K. Now, certificates. This is again important because you make good resume, you do everything. But if any specific positions expect any certificate or license, and if you are not carrying that, you will not get hired. So someone, if it is in finance, probably these are the certificates which is important. You can Google it about that. You can read the blogs, you can check the YouTube videos or LinkedIn learning videos. What is the importance of CSE, CFA, IFIC, and all other certificate? What positions you will get once you graduate or once you clear the certificate, and what would be the pay? Check it. If someone has done BCom back home, probably this certificate is really important to try. And if you try, probably you will start with maybe 45K, but you can land 80, 90K easily after 2, 3 years of experience. Insurance industry, LLQP, OTL, other than life insurance. So this is also good start. Someone who has done BSc or BCom back home, not having any experience, this either finance or either insurance. This certificate is a good start to enter into the Canadian market. You will probably working with big ticket banks. And when you feel, okay, you have multiple options to grow, depending on your interest, you get another certificate and you jump. So that's something you can do. IT industry, I have seen so many people from IT. If you got the skills, good. But since to stand out into the market, especially in the competitive market for IT, this is something you should be care about. This certificate you need to take. Anyone which is your pro, either you need to take PMP if you are trying for some coordinator positions. You can take Power BI, you can take Tableau, you can take Scrum Master. Depending on your positions, you need to take the certificates. Engineering and mechanical people, probably you can try something in auditor or quality technicians if you are interested, or you can try something in the supply planner, supply chain, production planner, even the welding inspector. There was a client who got this certificate and currently he got a job of more than 70K. So that's something you can try. Six Sigma, Lean. So depending on your targeted profile, you need to check in the job description which certificate they are expecting and take that. Project management, PMP is the very important. If you have enough experience back home, get it done. Most important. If you don't have experience, then CAPM is a good start to enter. And other than that, probably you can have some tool certificate like Primera P6 or something very specific you want to be, either a scheduler or a planner. Pharmaceuticals. So for those who are in the pharma, if you feel that I cannot clear this pharmacist position license, then try something regulatory, try something pharmacy technician, maybe some biotechnology. So all these certificates, you need to Google. These are government authorized certificate, which you need to get it done. If you have this certificate, definitely they will hire you. And again, in the job description, if they have mentioned that they need asset is fine. If they say it is required, then even if you apply with 100% of ATS, you will not get any call, because if they need, they need. So especially for medical, finance and health or pharma industry people, if you are trying for any kind of certified or licensed positions, you need to start working on certificate or license from today. Now, I discussed so many things, blah, 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 blah. Probably you got idea, okay, so many things to do in your to-do list. I would say, I don't want to keep it as a motivational lecture, and I don't want to keep it in a such a way that, oh yeah, it was really impressive and so many things I have done and I can do and I will start doing it. I would say start from the baby step, very small things. If you don't have G license, get it done. Even if you don't have G1, get it done today. Apply today, get it done by this week. Make a small target. Do the market research, what exactly you want to be. Probably I give you enough idea of who are those people who had the 50% who doesn't know that what exactly you want to be. Get some certificates about the tools or license. This is very key to enter into the industry. So to-do list, many things to do. Start from one. Start doing. Once you do one, you will get the completion feeling that will inspire you or motivate you to do another things. And you do in the baby steps, I'm sure that you will land in a good job. Okay, so now the question answer sessions. I will have the compile sheet. Let me check if I have ready. And even I will allow you to turn on the mic. Let me see if I can turn on the mic and you can share directly if you have any questions. So just a minute. Just a minute, guys. I'm finding the questions. Okay, let me go with the waveform first till time I get the compile list, and even let me turn on the mics for you guys. So yeah, now you can turn on your mics, and if you have any questions, you can directly ask here. I will try to answer it here. And okay, there is a guy who said getting interviews but not selected by employers. I hope I answered your questions. If you were trying these positions, this answer way, the star method, elements of the star method, introductions very well. If you did, probably you should contact me and I need to understand your case specifically. If you haven't did this before, then probably you can work on those things and you can try again with being very specific rather than answering very generic. How can I get the entry level positions in electrical engineering? Best entry level position for any engineering is either sales or estimator or procurement, where probably you need some good communication skills, you need some good command on Excels and documentations, and you have the degree of engineering, so you can read the drawings or you can read the specifications and requirement, and that will help you to uh, prepare the bids and prepare the codes and get something into the market. So that something is will give the entry into the market. And once you enter, probably you can jump into the next positions with those experience with probably any additional certificate or anything. Moving forward, what qualities and skills are the most important to success in the field? So this is being very generic. I tried to answer your questions that you need to do the study the job descriptions. In the job descriptions, if they have asked for the specific skills, even the way I explain on the LinkedIn, if they ask for the specific skills, this is something you can work on. If you have good, if you don't have, you need to work on. How to get a job in the healthcare manager or healthcare project coordinator without a strong reference? I think I cleared your doubt about the strong reference. Yes, Hardik, go ahead. What's your questions?
Yeah, so Hardik, first of all, thank you so much for the detailed presentation. I really appreciate that. It was
Thank
quite
you.
insightful.
Thank you
So
so much.
I have a couple of questions regarding the resume. First thing first, so when we, providing the details about our experience and we provide the bullet points. So how many bullet points? I mean, how should I say that? So what are the maximum bullet points that we can include in if we want to cover the whole experience part?
Uh, 8 bullet points. It's my personal number again. Don't go with that. But 8 bullet points. Usually, even I put into my client's way. 4 to 3 to 4 doesn't make sense. 10, 15 doesn't make sense. So 8 is the mediocre number. It can be 7, it can be 10 maximum. And the length should not be a shorter one, not a one line or the half line. I would say 1.5 line should be covered for one bullet point. So 1.5 line multiplied by 8. So probably you are covering the 12 lines, I believe, in that way. Overall 16 lines, but that's what the data you are presenting. So usually one experience will carry 40% of your one page.
Okay, and the other question regarding the same thing you mentioned about mentioning our achievements and everything in our resume. So where exactly should we mention that? Should we mention that in the experience itself, or should we mention it specifically? I mean, separately.
Regarding achievements, you are asking?
Yeah. So let's say currently I'm working in Uber. I have some achievements in Uber. So shall I mention that when I'm mentioning my experience part, or shall I mention them separate?
Okay, so you have two ways. The achievement you can cover into the first most section, which is the professional summary, where you are explaining about the whole you are, including your qualifications, your skills, your background, your certificates. That's what something you can mention there. But if there is something very specific you achieved in very specific company or project, then in the beginning of the job title, for example, you are working with Uber, you can cover into the project section. So that should be before the starting your 8 bullet points, you should have one project section. So in that project section, you can have what was the project, what was the value of the project, what was the achievement you did. So you have two ways. Hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Any more from your side, Hardik?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay, I have one more. Archana in the line. You can ask the question, Archana.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so Hardik, my question is like what all platform we can use to apply for the jobs? Like Indeed is there, LinkedIn is there. Do we have other platforms as well? Like I'm talking about the tech industry because that is my goal for that. Yeah.
I would say those are the only platform. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, rather than trying multiple platforms, if there is an opening, you should try Recruiter. You should try direct business partner. You should try the company's website doing cold calling, which is something important rather than applying. So if you have really extensive experience, at that time bulk approach doesn't work. Maybe usually I say that till time you haven't applied 1500 jobs and you didn't receive the offer, you cannot say I am not getting job because you didn't make enough efforts. But it doesn't work in terms of very experienced guy. So when someone is very experienced, you have really good skills. At that time, probably your efforts should be in a such a way. If there is an opening, make sure that your resume is being referred by the HR. And to do that, you need to do the cold calling. You need to connect with people in the same company, having the same profile. Ask for the recruiter's HR. Ask for the email ID of the recruiter or hiring manager. If you get a name, connect on the LinkedIn, do the short message or in message, and then try to pitch yourself. That's something you need to do. But I have never asked my clients to do efforts on the multiple platform. Two platforms are there, Indeed and LinkedIn. Yeah, in IT there are so many different platforms and different, I would say, options. To try for remote there is something else, to try for Upwork and all these freelancing jobs are there, and there are others as well. But if you are looking for something which you need a knock B job or field job which is legalized in Canada, in that case doesn't make sense to explore multiple options, because these people what they do the web crawling and they give you everything in this one platform. So hope I answered your question, Archana.
Yeah, perfectly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Archana. Yes, Vatsal.
Yes, thank you, Hardik, for your good presentation. It was so much informative. And
Thank you.
like to ask that, I'm applying for different jobs, and sometimes I'm getting emails. I got the one interview cleared also, but after that they said just we are waiting for the bidding and all. So like on that case, like how many times I can like follow up them, because I already did for the two times, but they are still, they are not saying yes and they are not saying no to me. But so what should I do?
So in market, there are two types of recruiters.
Yes.
And first thing, I would like to thank you that you acknowledge the oral presentations. And to answer your questions, there are two types of recruiters. One is very honest. They will be honest. Even I have seen recruiter who will be following up with you without any update. So they will say, "Hey, I received your resume. I talked with hiring manager, but there is no update as of now. Please wait for 2 3 days. I will get something for you." They are really good, really honest. They are updating you everything. There are people who ignore you, or there are people who will not say no in front of yourself. So trying for two times is fine. So for example, when you completed your interview, you can immediately or within one day you can send the acknowledgement email that, hey, this interview was really good and I found it really interesting, and I got more excited about this company and this position, so I'm excited to join. Let me know decisions or waiting for the decision. That's something you already mentioned. Sometimes the recruiter will acknowledge, maybe they will not acknowledge as well that they received this after 1 week. So if you did something Friday, wait for not Monday, another Friday or end of that week. So maybe the next to next Monday. So you need to give at least 5 business days
Yes.
to follow up. And once you follow up, if they don't reply, forget. They will not reply ever. Or once you follow up and if they acknowledge and they say that, hey, we are still interviewing other candidates and we'll get back to you within end of this week or within 2 weeks, then yes, following up with them makes sense because he acknowledged at least, so he is expecting something, but relatively he is confused to hire you or to hire someone else. So they
Yes.
are not 100% ready with you, or maybe they lined up interview for 3 4 candidates, so they want to finish those interviews and then probably they want to make decision. So in that case, following up makes sense. Hope I answered your questions. What's up?
Yes, yes, and sometimes on the last Friday I got one thing that like I got the one interview email, and I said no because the on the next day I had a job, right? So I said I'm not available tomorrow, but on the next week you can like schedule the interview for between 12 to 2. so that like I on that time I will little free. So I did that email, like not that like that like I'm free, I'm saying like I'm available and all. But after that I didn't got any email. So like what should I do? Because like sometimes we are not 100% available, right,
Yeah.
for the interview.
The major problem with my clients and major problem with people who are doing 40 hours job
Yes,
that I don't like or that I don't expect from my client. So the best thing to do, make yourself available Monday to Friday,
yes,
8 a.m. till 3 p.m. Usually they will not take interview after 3 p.m. because they want to go home. Everyone has family, especially hiring manager. And
yes,
usually they will not take interview on Friday as well. Very rare chance they will take
yes,
interview on Friday. And even if you say no on Friday, they will be happy that okay, they're free now because no HR or no recruiter work on Friday. So for those people who are doing survival job and looking for a field job, I would
yes,
say you need to migrate your shift to Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
yes.
You can do 12
Uh,
hours if you want,
yes,
or you can do some evening shift during the weekdays and make yourself available at least till 2 to 3 p.m. from the morning. That's one answer for your availability.
no, but sorry to cut you out. Like I am doing my field job right now, and I'm like as a field technician right now. I'm working, but what happens like whenever I go for my field, like it a continuous work. So on that case, I cannot. I'm wearing a 4 layer clothes, which is not perfectly suited for the interview, and also like I have some construction noise and all. So on that case, like
You're
I am
having
not.
car.
Yes, I have a car, but like I know, but we have some continuous work, so that's why like I cannot go anywhere on some situation.
So see, usually they are
Yeah.
flexible. This is
Yeah.
this is very rare case that when you say, hey, please reschedule, I'm not available this day, reschedule this day, they will do.
Yes.
And
Yes.
usually, rather than emailing any particular slot, they
Yes.
call you, they ask for your availability, and then they set up. They give you three, four options. So
Yes.
you cannot judge. It's okay. If there is something going negative with one particular company, it's okay. If they are
Yes.
not flexible today, even after getting hired with them, and anyhow you are doing field job, switching with those companies who doesn't respect your availability or you doesn't respect your time, then it's fine, you don't need to join those companies. So don't feel bad if something you are not getting positive feedback if you are requesting for the reschedule. But personally, for those students who are getting a first time job in Canada for a field job, make yourself available 100%. And
Yes.
again, if you got multiple options, choose the immediate one. Because
Yes.
what happens, three, four candidates who got the same email that book your slot, if someone who booked earlier than you, and if he got selected, you lose the opportunity. So don't do that. Don't think that I need to make some more efforts to prepare and all these things. So at that time, you need to book something immediately. That's what
Yes.
I would suggest. Hope I answered your question, Vatsal.
Yes. 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 Sure.
Yes, Sayed
Thank you.
Nawaz.
So good afternoon, sir.
Good
So,
afternoon.
so just a second.
Okay, before Sayed got available, I had one point in the notes or in the chat. Someone said I want to looking I'm looking for remote job at the moment. So remote is no more. So it is done. We are out of COVID. No companies support remote jobs. So I would recommend, uh, especially yeah, you can get something in call center level job. Those people who have not even leasing the office, who want to do everything from work from home basis, they are checking your premises and giving you the devices at your home with the lane connections. But other than that, any field job, they can do hybrid, 3 days in office or 2 days in office, but 100% remote is, I would say, rarest. Even in IT, people are visiting office. Probably they are giving constraint that you need to be within city or you need to visit office for 5 days in a month anytime. Something like that they will ask. So remote is not anymore. Hope I answered your questions. Yes, Sayed, go ahead with your question.
Sir, first of all, sir, thank you so much for like the first thing you said in the presentation was 50% are in the line and 50% I don't know where they are going. So I was in that list, sir, because I saw your email, sir, from one of our classmates. I was like, I graduated with you. Like you taught me very well, sir. To be honest,
Thank
and I
you.
was actually looking for, sir, going into project management field. So the second course I took is business management.
Okay.
So right now, sir, my main focus is on project management through civil engineering, sir, because
Okay.
I'm from construction background and I
Okay.
want to build from construction to project management, sir.
Okay.
So can
So,
you please guide me, sir, for
so
the
for
best
you,
thing I can do?
I would say if you have back home experience, get PMP done. If you don't have experience, get CAPM done. And other than this, trying for project coordinator position is good to enter into the construction field. There are some estimator positions as well in small trades or small construction companies. Or you can learn some tools like Primavera P6 for the scheduling, which is really important. You can do something as a scheduler. So depending on your interest, you can choose. So the best way, as I said, connect on the LinkedIn to the multiple people, learn about their profile and roles and responsibility. Whatever you feel which is interesting, get those skills. I would say eligible, make yourself eligible, get those skills or certificate, and then get it done. I hope I answered your questions. And again, since you know me personally, you can email me your resume and we can discuss one on one.
Yes, sir. So one more question, sir, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
Sir, in back home, sir, I used to work as a site engineer, civil site
Oh,
engineer. But
okay,
that company was one of my relative company. So it was not like for me, like getting pay stubs from them or anything like that. It was just
okay,
a relative kind of thing. So I used to work in that company as a site engineer when my civil engineering was going on. So I never thought of getting their pay stubs and everything. I worked for 1 year, sir,
okay.
but I'm not sure that should I put that experience in my resume because I don't have any proof of it.
Since you already worked, you can put it's totally fine. The companies are not going to ask for any kind of uh, experience later and everything. Probably they will ask for the references and say you have already worked. Probably you can generate the reference. You can ask them to give you the reference, give you the recommendation on the LinkedIn. So that's what you can do. So it's totally fine. I don't see any issue in this.
Thank you, sir. That's all from my side.
Okay. I hope I answered everyone's questions and anyhow we have crossed time limit. So thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate and I will get back to you with the feedback email and everything. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday. See you guys.
So, looking forward for more webinars.
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Sir,
you.
apart from everything, sir, apart from everything, and from like I've been in Canada from like last year, I didn't find any other professor taking such initiative for people, for students to land in their successful jobs, sir. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, sir. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Really appreciate. Thank you.